Now, we know that we're going to the weekend. A lot of actions or activities are going to take place. Already, we do have the voters registration exercise that is taking place. Did I say voters registration? Yeah, voters registration, definitely. It also means that for the weddings that we have to attend, the funeral activities, and in the last week I was at one, will mean that we need to make sure that we have to arm ourselves with the right sort of educational information. And that's where we bring in Dr. Fortune Biakro. And he is a member of the COVID-19 team, works closely with the ICU team. And we need to have this conversation. It's very important for all of us to keep our minds and our senses very much active, because we need to adhere to the protocols. And Dr. Biakro, thank you for joining me. Good morning to you, Dr. Biakro.
Thank you very much, Roland.
No, thank you.
Good morning.
Morning. If you can just go back a bit on your screen so that we don't have yours. Okay, just go back on yours. So yeah, that's good. Yeah, zoom. All right. Now, if you would have to give a first caution, what would be your own observation this week about the notable social activities we've undertaken as a people, whether reported by the media, etc., that you think we need to correct before we even get to what the tips should be?
Okay, Roland. The first one that everybody has seen around and we are all talking about is voter registration that has just started. There are a lot of places that you see that people are not obeying the safety protocols. You see a lot of people at the registration centers, they don't have masks. They mask up together. They don't mind the social distancing protocols. And that is so worrying. And also, when I move around, I see a lot of young men playing football together. Football is a contact sport, and they are not mindful of any of the safety protocols at all, which I think is so worrying. In my area, every evening from around 4 p.m. to around 6, you see different parks, boys gathered together playing football, and no safety protocols at all. And all those things are worrying. You drive past the market areas and you see people moving around without face masks. And all those are very worrying situations.
Wow. Anyway, so what will be your first tip for us?
All right. So my very first tip will be something we cannot overemphasize. Do not forget your face mask. Roland, anytime all of us are going out, one of the things we don't want to leave behind is our mobile phones. If you step out of your house and realize that your mobile phone is not on you, you go back, look for it, and pick it up. So I just want us to remember that once we start looking for our mobile phones while we are going out, we should also remember our face masks. Do not step out of your house without your face mask. And make sure as soon as you become two, you put on your face mask. As soon as you enter where there are a lot of people, you put on your face mask. When you are alone in your car, you can decide not to put it on. But as soon as someone joins you, make sure you put on your face mask. That is the very first tip I would like to give.
Okay. And it's important we put on the face masks because...
Roland?
Yes. Why is it important that we put on the face masks? Dr. Biakro.
We put on the face mask for two reasons. To protect yourself. Hello, Roland, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Please continue.
Roland? Yeah, we put on the face mask for two reasons. To protect yourself and also to protect your neighbor near you. If your neighbor is infected and you put on your face mask, you are protected from getting the droplets from his breathing or his or her breathing, and also droplets that come from his mouth when he talks, so that the person will not get infected. Secondly, If you are infected and you wear your face mask, you protect your neighbor so that your droplets from your mouth and from your nose does not get to the person to infect the person. So wearing the face mask, you protect yourself and you also protect your neighbor. Those are the reasons why we need to wear the face mask. We cannot overemphasize wearing of the face mask.
Now, which will be your second tip?
My second tip will be for us to avoid crowded areas this weekend. You know, this weekend there are going to be a lot of activities. There are going to be funerals, there are going to be one-week celebrations, there are going to be marriage ceremonies, and I think the voters registration is still going on. So what I will encourage the public to do is to avoid crowded areas. When probably you know a friend's father or somebody is dead and you are going to the one-week celebration to mourn with the person, as soon as you get there, do what you need to do and leave. You staying there for long does not mean you are the one who is sympathizing more with the person or not. If you are going to greet, that's greet and leave. Make sure that you do not get where people are crowded. And if you need to go into crowds, make sure you go do whatever you need quickly and leave. And make sure as before you enter the crowd, your face mask is on. And try to observe the social distances as much as possible. That would be my second tip. Do not enter crowded areas or avoid crowded areas this weekend.
The last weekend I was at a funeral, and it's good that you mentioned such events, because funerals, weddings, and now we've even reopened church. So church is now on. And if you have to avoid crowded places, we know that socioculturally, you just can't go and greet somebody and then you say that you're going away. So what should be the tactfulness we need to attach to that?
Okay, so the first thing I would like to say, Roland, is that, you know, we are not in normal times.
And the tip is that we have to avoid crowded areas. And it's important that you avoid crowded areas as you go to that funeral because you are very close to the person or the family that is organizing the funeral, or that wedding or marriage ceremony or that church service. You don't take your eyes off the ball and do it in such a way that will keep you in good stead. You also have to make sure that you do what is right as you make entry into a location where there's a crowd. So we'll try as much as possible get Dr. Fortune Biokro back on the line. And he's a member of the Covid-19 team, giving us the tips for today. You're already seeing the tips on the screens before he fully comes in. As much as possible, make sure that you follow these tips. They are very important. You have to follow these tips, and it's for good reason. So you were on the second point, I believe.
Yeah, Roland, sorry, I'm back.
Yes, please. It's normal with the connection. Ghana, we did.
Hello, Roland.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, so our third tip would be that avoid shaking hands. You know, when we go to these public gatherings, we are tempted to shake, especially funerals. One thing that is so common with Ghanaians is at funeral is that we like shaking hands. So as much as possible, try not to shake hands with anybody. You know, what I personally do these days when I go into public is that I hold my mobile phone in one hand and my car key in the other hand. So if I try put a changing hands or trying to put away my mobile phone, then I remember that I am not supposed to shake hands these times because we are not in normal times. So such things, little things like making your hand full with your personal items will prevent you from shaking hands.
The shaking of hands, which is a social-cultural, traditional thing that we do, if you shake the hand, what's the medical reason why you could be in trouble?
Okay, we as human beings, we are fond of touching our face several times. You know, you touch your eyes even unconsciously. A lot of people touch their nose, you cough, you sneeze, and all goes into your hands. It's not everybody who is abreast with hand hygiene. So you may never know who you are shaking. The person might have just put the hand inside the nose, the hand into the eye, and the person may put big droplets which are in their hands. They might not have washed their hands, they might not have used their hand sanitizers. So shaking such people is dangerous for yourself. After shaking probably yourself, you may not have used your hand sanitizer or wash your hands, then your eye might be itching and you'll be tempted to put your hand there. It's a recipe of infection. You infect yourself through all those ways. That is why it is very important not to shake hands. Whether you go to funeral or weddings or church, make sure you do not shake hands with anybody.
Wow. Even if the person is close to you, because you go to these events because you're closer to the organizers.
Yes, Roland. Again, I will say it again. We are not in normal times. And everybody must have that awareness in our subconscious that we are not in normal times. So whether it's your brother, it's your father, it's your sister, it's your spouse, it's your in-law, please do not shake hands. Do not shake hands. It is very important. You are protecting yourself and you are protecting that loved one. If you really love them, these days, if you really love the person, do not shake the person's hands. That is a new normal. If you love the person, stay away from the person. That is how you save the person.
The other day, I was having an argument with a friend of mine, and he was talking about how the virus stays on the surface, or if it's on the surface within a certain temperature, etc. Can you educate us on that, how that is related to the hands and subsequent flouting of that social rule that could also lead to infection?
Okay, so we know that when the virus can stay on a hard surface for about 4 hours.
Wow.
So then you realize that if somebody sneezes on a surface or coughs into his or her hands, you expect the virus to be on the person's hands for that long. So you meet the person, you don't know how long the person has coughed, you cannot tell. So what we say is that you treat everybody as the person being infected so that you protect yourself and as well you protect the person. So surfaces, yes, the virus stays on surfaces, hard surfaces for about 4 hours. Okay. So that is why we need to be very careful and then avoid these contacts, especially the handshakings that we do so much in our society.
Okay. What's your fourth point or tip?
Okay, my fourth tip is to keep your hand sanitizer handy. You know, now there are these cute hand sanitizer that people hang around women hang around their handbags. Some people hang it around their pockets. I think it's very good we keep them handy. You can have hand sanitizer in your car. You drive to a gathering and then you leave it in your car. You go to the gathering. After touching things, you tell yourself, I will sanitize my hand with hand sanitizer. But before you get to your car, anything can happen. You can touch your face, you can touch any part of your body. So that is why we need to be careful and keep our hand sanitizer handy. If the hand sanitizer is with you every time, as soon as you remember you have to sanitize your hand, you just pick it. You don't have to say, when I get to my car. So that is why we need to keep it very handy. In your pocket, you get these small ones, 30 mils, 20 mils, you hang it in your pocket, you hang it in your handbag, wherever you go, so that as soon as the awareness comes that I have to sanitize my hand, you reach out for it.
Wow. And your fifth point?
My last point is, I will encourage everybody to spend time at home as much as possible. You know, if you don't have anything doing outside this weekend, spend time with your family. stay at home. The more you stay at home, the more you prevent carrying the infection from somewhere to your house or carrying it from your house outside. So when you stay at home also, you rest yourself. You know, our immune system becomes susceptible to infections when you are stressed out and then your body is tired.
Hey.
So when you stay at home, what you are doing is that you are preventing yourself from going out and bringing the infection home, and also you are resting so that your immune system will be strong enough to fight any infection that will come. So that will be my last tip for today, for the weekend.
Okay.
As much as possible, stay at home. If you don't have anything doing outside, anything important doing outside, stay at home with your family, rest, so that you prevent taking the virus out or bringing it into your house.
Okay. So when we knew that we were going to have this interaction, I also prepared my key questions and some concerns based on my interactions with friends on a number of the pages. So I have this group within this period. Once in a while, we go sit around. We call it within the social distancing mood. But sometimes we take maybe a beer or two, or sometimes those who take the soft drinks will do so. What's your advice for this social group that I have?
The question I want to ask is, what is the essence of meeting and having drinks at this time? You know, now technology is so helpful that if you are in a group, you can always meet on Zoom as we are doing now. You can meet on Facebook and chat. So if you want to drink beer, you can drink beer in your house. So I just want to advise that those social groups meeting physically is not necessary now. You can meet on Zoom, you can meet on Facebook, you can meet on WhatsApp and discuss whatever you want to discuss. You want to drink beer, stay out in your house and drink your beer. If you think you need some fresh air outside, you can take a walk in the evening alone. With that, you are protecting your colleague in the social group and you are protecting yourself. And one thing we should know, Roland, is that once you take a beer or two, you know, the alcohol is going to give you that disinhibition. So once anybody in the group becomes a bit tipsy, you lose a bit of control over yourself. You are chatting, you are laughing. The next thing you want to do is to tap your friend or shake your friend without knowing it. You know, by the time you realize you've done it already. And those are, you know, things that can lead to the infection. So as I keep saying, if you love your friend and you love your brother, this time is to stay away from them, not to stay close to them. So I would discourage such groups. Seriously, I would discourage such groups, especially the ones that you go and sit just to drink and chat. You can chat online. You want to drink, you can drink at home.
Okay.
So that would be my
the reason why we socialize that way is that we have the bottles in front of us, and also you say we should Zoom with the bottles in front of us whilst people are virtually at different places and we chat while we are drinking our you know, nice stuff. That is what you advise. Well,
yes, please. That is what I would advise.
Okay.
Be at home. Let everybody see that your beer is in front of you, your Coke is in front of you. You are drinking, and I think it will not have the same effect, but it's better than getting infected.
Right. So the other day, my partner wanted to go. My wife wanted to go and have pedicure, and then I also wanted to go and shave my hair. You know, it's a weekend. We have to prepare for the next working week. What advice would you have given me?
Wow, that one is a very dicey one. It's difficult. I think it's very difficult. But what I advise people is that as much as possible, if you can have the kits for the hair barbering at home, it will be very good, so that you can have your barber come home and cut your hair for you. Of course, those also are risks we are taking, because the barber also coming, you never know his status. But that one will be better than going to the barbering salon where everybody goes to. But then if you can't do that, you don't have any choice but risk going to the barbering salon. When you get there, make sure that most of the protocols all the protocols are being kept by the barber, and be sure that the barber uses the sanitizer. I mean, the alcohol-based sanitizer. They have this UV light machine that they use to sanitize the equipment they use to cut our hair. But then you can never tell how potent that machine is. Somebody can just keep it, but then the machine may not be working, but just to show you that he has it. So make sure that they use there's this alcohol that they use, methylated spirit. It's also good. But then also some of the barbers, they dilute it so much that it loses efficiency. So that one, Roland, is a very dicey thing. I don't really have a direct answer to tell you to go or not to go, but you need to do your hair. But what I can say is that if you can get the equipment at home to be used for you alone and your family, it will be very good. That would be the best.
Okay. What we also do over the weekend is to go and wash our cars. Now, you know how the washing bay is. The young guys all milling around. And I'm sure very much also not having a sense of awareness about maintaining some of these protocols. You go and wash your car and then you come back. That sort of activity, what do you advise?
Okay. So as much as possible, if you can get your car washed at home, it's also good. I mean, the weekend, if you are home on your own, this, as I said, we are not in normal times. So these are times you can do a few things on your own. If you are at home, you can wash your car with your child by you washing your car. It's also another way of bonding as a family. But then if you think you cannot wash it at home, but you can go to the washing bay, but make sure you yourself, you obey the safety protocols. You park your car, you give them a distance. You can give them a car key afterward, and then have your hand sanitizer by you. After washing the car, when they give you your car key, the first thing you do is to sanitize the car key with your hand sanitizer. Before you enter your car, the door handle, you can just sanitize it with a sanitizer. Those are the few things you can also do to protect yourself. But the best thing is, if you can wash your car at home, try as much as possible to do that. It's also
And the tip is that we should spend more time at home. And then this one, I really was interested in the car washing business, because often you're home, you may have rested the greater part of the day. You just want to pop out, go wash your car, or you go and take a ride to that bay and then come back. And so we're just getting tips from Dr. Fortune Biokro, and he is a member of the COVID-19 ICU team, and this is what he's told us so far. As we go back to, add some flesh to what he's already. He says, do not step out of your home without your face mask. Point one, very, very important. You want to go to the market, you even want to go and take a walk, etc. Do not step out of your home without your face mask. Very important. Now, the second tip is that you have to avoid crowded places. Avoid crowded places. This is the second tip. Avoid crowded places. He did indicate, because we have to go to that funeral, that outdooring, that church service, that wedding, etc. And because you know the people, you can't say, but don't waste your time there. Don't go do the unwanted, the untoward. And we're talking about you making sure that you, while we'll have to go out, keep on you sanitizer. Keep on you a sanitizer. Avoid shaking hands when you're out. Very important as well. You have to avoid shaking hands. Very, very important. And as you do that, also make sure that you spend more time at home. 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 And Dr. Fortune Breko is the one giving us all those tips. Right. Well, we'll take a break. When we come back and we have him back on the stream, we will want to conclude this conversation. Do stay with us.